Hello everyone. During my last video I showed how you can set up the location services within Domoticz so that it basically reacts on the location of your cell phone and activates or disables a switch in Domoticz. And during this video I want to show the next step by basically activating a script based on your location. So let's remind ourselves what we did the last time. So if we go to setup, hardware, you can add a new hardware device. Let's see, called dummy. And the dummy hardware device is used to create virtual switches. Now, I already have it set up in my system. If you have that added to your hardware components, then you can create a virtual switch. And if you create a virtual switch, then it will be immediately visible in the switches tab, like the one we have here, test home away. The only thing I basically did is do edits, and I switched the icon to phone, just to visualize that we're basically saying this is a virtual switch with enabling, disabling based on phone location. So what we're now going to do is we're going to mimic basically what happens if this switch would have been automatically disabled or enabled based on your location. So we are going to set up a script which will activate this bedroom spot based on our location. So let's see if we can make that relationship. We're going to do that by going to setup, more options, and then go to events. Then we're going to create a new Blocky script. And to start off with the script, we are first going to control. And we're going to select if do and drag it. So what we're going to do here is first say if the virtual switch turns on, then it should perform a certain action, and the action will then be activate the bedroom spotlight. So let's see if we can set that up. So what do we need? We need the devices. So open up devices. Both devices are located in switches. So we'll go to switches. Then we need the bedroom spot. That's at least one of them. Yes, bedroom spot. And we also need test home away. And what we want to do is we want to say if test home away is being activated, go back to logic, select on, then it should perform the action. So we go to the next part, which is do, and we need to say set under logic, set bedroom spot logic turns on. If you have 2 times the on statement, you can select it 2 times from the logic menu. You can also right click and say duplicate, and then basically drag it to your next part. So we don't need it anymore. We're going to save this one. So what should now happen if the virtual switch turns on, then it should also turn on the bedroom spot. Now, let's try that one. Go back to switches. Bedroom spot is turned off. Our test home away is turned off. So now we're going to mimic what would happen if we would have automated this through our cell phone based on our location. So we're manually turning it on. And as you can see, the bedroom spot turns on. Doing the step turn off doesn't do anything because we didn't set it up. So let's turn it on again. But now we need to enhance our script and create an additional condition where it will also say, okay, if test home away is being disabled, then it should also disable the bedroom spot. So let's try that one. Go back to setup, more options, events. We go to our script that we just created. Now we need an additional condition. You can do two things. You can either create a second script and then say test home away off also turns bedroom spot off. However, what you also can do is do the following. You go to control. Now instead of the first if do, you select the second one with the little cogwheel. And we're gonna drag those over. We don't need the top one, so I'm gonna drag it out of the field, which is deleting it. And now we're gonna say else if. And the else if you're gonna drag under the if statement. And now you have the possibility to add the second part of the script that we need. Now, let's, instead of selecting everything again with the devices and the commands we need, we're going to say duplicate the whole part. And put it in. Also the second one, I'm going to put it in. Now they're all the same. That's not what we want. We want to say turn off and also turn off. So what happens now? If test home away is turned on, then it activates the bedroom spot. If it's turned off, it will disable the bedroom spot. So we're going to save this one. Go back to switches. We can see the bedroom spot is turned on. Test home away is turned on. Let's disable it. Bedroom spot is disabled. Let's turn it on again. And the bedroom spot turns on. Now, that seems to be working correctly. Now let's do the next step in our script. So let's say you're leaving your house, and that would also automatically disable the bedroom spot based on the perimeter you have set on your location services. Again, if you're not aware of how to set up the location services, please look at my last video. I will also create a link in this YouTube video. If it's always the same, so let's say every time after 1 minute it's being disabled, then that can also be seen by people outside saying, that's we always see the same pattern. Within 1 minute it disables the light in the house. So what you can do is put a random factor in it. So we go back to the script. Open it up again. Now let's change the sets values. So let's do the following. Go to logic. And now we're going to say, instead of the simple set command. We're going to say set random within X amount of minutes. And we need that twice. And we're going to drag the bedroom spot and also on and off. We can move this out of the way, and we just need to fill out a number for the minutes. We're going to use the value 1, that at least we can see immediate results. Duplicate it, 1, 1. So what now will happen is the following. The switch is turned on. Bedroom spot will not immediately turn on. It will, within 1 minute, turn itself on or turn itself off when the virtual sys is being disabled. So let's save this one, go back to switches. Everything is turned on. Let's turn it off. And now within 1 minute, it should disable itself. In the meanwhile, it's also good to mention, if you go to setup and go to log, then you can also see in your logs that this particular script was automatically triggered. Well, automatically based on our manual action, but it can also be an automatic action if we, for instance, on the location services, if we leave our perimeter, which is set. And I'm showing this because if you have too many scripts running, then what, for instance, happened to me, at a certain point, you don't know what script is activating what. So if at a certain point you see unexpected behaviors, then you also have the ability to look at your logs to see which script event was actually triggered. Now, in the meanwhile, the minute is over, and you can actually see, so the bedroom spot is now being disabled, meaning the random setting we put in for the number of minutes, which was set to 1, actually works. So let's do the last step with adding some complexity. Let's do the following. Let's add another switch. We're going to call it test away number 2. Of course, this has to be a switch. Press OK. Has been created. Let's keep the consistency, make it a phone. Press save. Now we want to add another virtual switch. Simply going to copy paste the text here. Another virtual switch creation. Someone is home 2. Let's just make sure that we distinguish test from production. Yes, it's a switch. Let's have a look. And this, I'm going to use a different icon. For scripts, I always use this on and off button. So now we have 3 virtual switches, 2 for our phones, and 1 generic one to determine if someone is home or not. So let's go back to events. And we'll create a new Blocky script. We are going to say if do with an additional step. We're going to select our devices. Cell phone 1, cell phone 2, and the button to indicate if someone is home. Then we want to say equals, so if the first phone equals on, go back to logic. Now this is an important step. Now we're going to say not the AND statement, but the OR statement. And we want to say the second phone turned on. So that means if one of the two phones are within the defined perimeter for our location services, we're going to set the button for someone is home, the indication that one of the two phones or both are at home. We're going to set the button on. Now, I can select all the devices again, but the easiest way is just to duplicate the first part. And now I want to say if our first phone is off, and not the OR statement, but the AND statement. See if I was afraid of that. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it like this. So if both phones are turned off, it should deactivate the someone is home to button. So we need an AND statement. So first it's an OR, second part it's an AND. Gonna connect it up, duplicate it, and now it's going to be an off. So what happens? Let's save it. It's immediately activated. That means we have two cell phones. If I have one cell phone turned on, it should activate this one. If I turn that one off, it should deactivate. If I turn both on and one goes off, it should deactivate. If I turn, it should still be activated. If I turn both off, it should deactivate it. So let's give it a go. One turns on, activated. I turn it off, turns off again. I turn both on, still activated. One goes off, nothing happens. Let's try the other one. One turns off, nothing happens. Turn both off, and it's deactivated. Okay. Let's disable everything. We go back to events. Now let's go to our first script. And instead of the single phone, we're now going to say the someone is home button is either turned on or off. Let's remove the randomness that we can immediately test it. Spares is duplicates. Oh, duplicates on. Someone is home. Turn it on. set, oh, my mistake, off, duplicate, off. Okay. All right. So this will mean it's the bedroom spot is now only activated based on this button. So no longer, at least through the script is no longer set to the individual cell phone. The script is set to activate on this button. So let's say I'm coming home, then the bedroom spot turns off. Other person is not at home. Let's say I'm leaving the house again, bedroom spot turns off. Let's say we're both at home. Now the first cell phone is leaving. It's still on, bedroom spot on. Second person leaving the house. Everything is turned off. So here you can see that also with setting up multiple phones, you can easily set up the scripts and deactivate devices in Domoticz. Well, I'm sure there will be more questions how to use certain scripts. Please leave comments if you want to. If you have a particular issue, I might have a solution for it, or at least can look into it. So I hope this video helps to have a basic understanding about scripting in combination with the location services. Again, you can see in my last video how the location services are working. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will soon create a new video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.